You know, with Fate, I always thought of it as that one quiet kid in class that got weirdly popular. Like, it's become so drastically separated from what it once was that half the fan base probably still has no idea that it was originally an eroge? I still don't know how to say that word. And somehow people are still asking which order to watch the Fate series in when this game just turned old enough to legally consent. Even with the literal thousands of videos and threads on how to watch the Fate series, not a single one has given the true watch order that I deem to be by far not only the most enjoyable, but also the most time efficient. So with that being said, it's time to whip out those VPNs because first on the list is obviously going to Prisma Illya. Before any of you Fate heads come at me trying to argue that this isn't broadcast order, I'd rebuke by saying that this is technically a different timeline, so it doesn't really matter regardless. I mean, this timeline already doesn't make sense to me because Illya is like a 5th grader, but Shiro is still like 17 for some reason, even though Illya is supposed to be older than actual Emiya. In fact, Illya is 18 in the original Fate Stay Night series, so like, why is she 10 here? I just don't know. So you're probably wondering why I'm starting you here. Well, I mean, it's pretty simple actually. Like, if you've ever written an English paper, you'd know, of course, about the hook, right? Well, this entire first season is the hook. Whether or not it's hooking you to the show or hooking you into prison, I don't know. That's up to you. But what I do know is that from the individuals that I've personally tested this theory on, they have come out as quite possibly the most vile and horrid people that I've ever had the displeasure of meeting, so that probably means it worked. Now you're probably assuming that I was gonna tell you to watch Prisma Illya 2-Way next. Well, no, not really. That'd be fucking stupid. Prisma Illya 2-Way introduced a lot of characters and plot points that are not only very boring, but are also basically impossible to understand unless you've seen the original series, so of course next we are moving on to Fate Zero. Yeah, no, Fate Zero has 0 bitches, so we are moving back to Prisma Illya. Did you actually think we were gonna start Fate Zero without having watched the fake kaleid liner Prisma Illya Dance at the Sports Festival OVA? At this point, your eyes are probably seething, so now it would actually be a good time to watch Fate Zero.
Nope.
Yeah, you have to watch the first 5 fake kaleid liner Prisma Illya specials too, you big stupid numbskull. Okay, so now we can actually move on to Fate Zero, right? Well, yeah, now the only reason I had all that other stuff prepped before this is because the beginning of Fate Zero is, for lack of a better word, I guess, it's horrible. Okay, I'm not even gonna ink around the squid here. Okay, it's really bad. Like, these dudes walk around Curie for like 10 minutes and it's really boring. So yeah, you can actually skip the first episode of Fate Zero. It's not that important, and we're just gonna move on to episode 2, and to shave off a little more time, we're actually just gonna skip to 807. I think you can see why. Okay, now we're gonna skip a couple more episodes. They're not really that good or important, so at this point we should be about episode 24, around the 17-minute and 33-second mark. We just gotta watch this quick scene real quick where Illya gets punched, and there you go, you basically finished Fate Zero. Next up is probably the most controversial Fate adaptation. Yeah, we gotta go back to 2006, I know. Now, Dina's been given a lot of shit for this adaptation, and I mean, personally, I think they deserve it. So we're actually just gonna pull a Squid Game here and cut around the less important bits. For this series, we're only gonna be viewing episodes 4, 13, and 17, and I'd also recommend listening to the opening because Disillusion is easily the best one, but if you're really tight on time, then you can just watch from 23 seconds to 26 seconds. Now with that out of the way, we can finally watch the one and only Carnival Phantasm. With Carnival Phantasm, we can actually watch almost everything here since basically every post-credit scene has the Taiga and Illya show, but sadly the post-credits for episode 6 did get cut out because Taiga used up all their budget in the previous episode, you fucking bitch. Now if you followed everything up to this point, you might be a little confused. I mean, yeah, trust me, I get it, I was there too, but if you need some extra context, I would say you could read the entire Tsukihime visual novel on the side. It might help. I don't know. I haven't actually read it. And after all of that, we can finally get back to Prisma Illya. Fuck. You can watch all of Fate kaleid liner Prisma Illya 2-Way as well as 2-Way Herz. Of course, this includes the specials, OVAs, everything. I think you get the idea. Before you start Prisma Illya 3-Ray though, you're gonna need some context for the upcoming season, so we're actually just gonna need to watch a bit of the UFO Tables 2014 adaptation. I know. Specifically episodes 2 and 3 since this is a new route. However, Illya's reveal does stay basically the same as the 2006 version, so I would recommend downloading Fate Go on the side if you haven't already, since you're gonna have a bit of grinding to do. Now, at the time this video comes out, this event event's probably gonna be long gone, so you're gonna have to wait until summer 2022 at the very least for this, but currently there is a guaranteed SSR event, and on the caster banner, we thankfully got Illya this year, so what you're gonna have to do is pay around $18, give or take, to get enough Saint course to roll for her. Keep in mind that there is only like a 1 in 6 chance of actually getting her, so make sure you saved up a bit of cash, because in the off chance that you didn't get her, you're gonna have to uninstall your game and re-download it as many times as it takes until you can actually do it. Thankfully, I got her on my first try, but some friends I know have definitely not been so lucky. Okay, assuming that you now have Illya, you can move on to Season 2 of Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, where Illya gets... And we're off to Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel. Unfortunately, you will have to watch all 3 of these movies here, and in the downtime where Illya isn't on screen, you're gonna want to start grinding Fate Go so you can full max the ever-living shit out of Illya. Yes, that means Bond 10, 10, 10, 10, level 100, plus 2000 extra attack and HP from foes. This isn't just a game. Now, this might take a while, but you should be basically done by the time that you slog through these 3 movies. If you finish maxing her early, though, you can play through the Fate Stay Night visual novel, because these movies pale in comparison. Haven't actually read the visual novel yet, but that's what everyone keeps telling me, and I'm a sheep, so I'm just gonna believe them. And now, after all of that, we can finally watch today's menu for the Emiya family. Hopefully by the time you finish this, you'll be able to cook up some killer Mapu tofu, because you're gonna have a lot of suicidal thoughts by the time you finish this video. And onto the best season of Prisma Illya, which is of course 3 Ray. This includes the specials and OVAs as always, and now that you've seen this, you will have full context to what is quite possibly the magnum opus of the Fate franchise. That's right, the Fate kaleid liner Prisma Illya movie, licked Namae no Nai Shoujo. I did that in one take. You may have noticed that I didn't include the other Prisma Illya movie, and that's because Illya isn't even in the movie, so in my eyes it's completely worthless to me. I hope this video is able to help you out somewhat in guiding you down the right path for the Fate series. Trust me, I know these always sound confusing at first, but by the end of this watch order, you will be far too gone to even regret that you did it in the first place. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye bye.